everybody. It's your boy, Chef Kev. Welcome to another episode of I Am CEO Podcast. Listen, if you're a CEO of your mindset, you're a CEO of your life, you're a CEO of whatever you are a CEO of, this show is for you. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first couple, CEO package couple, come together. K&F Consulting. Ladies and gentlemen, Will Knight and Shae Ford coming together, bringing the Knights.
You almost had it.
I almost had it.
Right,
I was going to say your last name and her last name.
Not quite there yet.
But hey, Will and Shae, bringing them welcome to the podcast. Thank you guys for coming through.
For having us.
Appreciate you for having us.
Man, look, what has been some of the things you guys have been doing lately? Like, what are you guys working on?
Some of the things we're working on is just trying to maintain the things we have going on with the current businesses we have. And then we're also looking for like new opportunities to try to scale. Yep. That's like always the thing. You want to look at what you have and then you want to look at how you can make it greater and broader. So, I think our focus right now is, trying to scale, trying to maintain and keep everything, I call it stealth mode.
Yeah.
Keep things stealth mode that we have going. And then, also like try and diversify. Okay. Diversifying is like good because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And what we're learning, especially like with the economy and everything going on in the world, you gotta have a plan B, plan C, D, E, so you gotta line up. So, we've been just doing all those things and focusing on that. And then, personally just like doing things like to show people like the way to get it done because, success leaves clues. Yeah. So we've been just really focusing on like not only ourselves, but also like how to teach other people how to do what we're doing.
Love it. Yeah. So in that same vein, can y'all tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and where you guys where you guys came from?
Yeah, I'm Shae. I am from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Port City.
Yeah, Port City, shout out. I didn't grow up in the church, but I was in the church. So okay. Christian, woman of God. Come from a really, really solid foundation. Both parents in the home. Middle class, not upper,
right.
Straight middle class. Really, really good firm foundation. Was in hospitality ever since I graduated high school.
Oh, wow.
So I come from a hospitality background, and that's kind of how I got to where I'm at today.
Love it.
Yeah. I was born in Pontiac, Michigan, by way of Tennessee. Like she said, I was like literally raised in the church. My dad used to actually clean the church. And I never forget, funny story.
That's crazy, my dad did.
Seriously. It's funny too, because like, I never forget when they used to have the funerals and, a lot of people don't know, they put the body in there most of the time the night before. So we go in there cleaning and then we just roll up on the casket. I'm like, oh no, we would just take out running. But, just raised up, shout out to my mom, Annie Knight, my dad, Jonathan Knight, hardworking, blue collar family, 5 boys, 1 girl. So we came from a big family. We didn't have a lot, we was a part of the, food stamps, block cheese, focus on, that powdered milk that you got to put the water in, stir it up. Yeah, we was right there. So, definitely know about like the struggle, you know what I'm saying? And, but gradually, as we grew and did better, my parents, they, moved us out of the, we was like in the ghetto in the hood. We used to like see everything, I feel like that was a blessing and a curse. Because it kind of prepared me for like what real life was at a young age. Yeah. When you see stuff, like you become immune to like your surroundings and you got to learn how to survive in any environment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Little did I know that was preparing me for like entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly what it is, man. It's like you out here, you never know you never know what's going to happen to you. You just got to know like you got to keep your mindset and your grind set and don't let the outside factors affect like your course. Yeah. Because you could be right next door, they could kick in the door, somebody gets shot and killed, and you just have to be aware of what's going on. Yeah. If you're not aware of what's going on in this game, like it's crazy. So grew up, kind of, went through that phase. I played ball. I was like the jock. I played all the sports. I played baseball, football, basketball, and I ended up, segueing more to football and basketball. Yeah. And so I had like, college offers and all that stuff. And, I just feel like, after I had a couple injuries and stuff like that, and that was no longer reality. Yeah. I kind of had to look for a plan B. Yeah. And that's kind of how I started focusing on, business stuff and stuff
That
like that.
brings me to my next question, though, honestly, is what inspired you guys to become business owners and jump into entrepreneurship? I know you touched on it a little bit, but what inspired you?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I was always into hospitality whenever I graduated high school. So being able to see, first of all, being able to interact with people, meeting new people and establishing new relationships. And of course, the money aspect. I used to make a lot of money. I would have a lot of regulars come in. So, this was actually back when I used to work at Hooters. And
wow.
Yeah, I had a lot.
Did y'all used to break the wings off for the dudes too? Or is that just like the Hooters I went to?
Maybe it was just the Hooters.
Because it was when I lived in LA, they used to come with gloves and they would break my wings for me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I never did that. Yeah, I never did that. But I used to make a lot of money, and one day I was just like, man, like if I can go home with this much in my pocket at the end of the night, like imagine what I can do, like having my own, spot. So that's what really inspired me.
Yeah, I was actually inspired. I was watching an episode of Oprah, and she said like, find your passion, find your purpose. And I'm like, okay, what are the things I like to do? I like to travel. I like to go nice places. I like to eat. I like to, go out, give people an experience and have a good time and feel like, like I'm giving people an escape from their reality. And I'll never forget, I still haven't figured out exactly what I want to do, but I had went to, I don't know if you remember, it was called Club Love. It was in DC.
Yes.
At the time.
4 levels.
Yes.
I was there the year that LeBron and Melo all got drafted, and Melo had a party there.
So
the most amazing spot.
So you know the vibes, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know exactly what I wanted to open, but it was actually, I think it was Barack Obama's inauguration.
Oh,
and I'll never forget, it was like 4 levels, like you said.
Yep.
And
it was a different vibe on each level.
Different vibe on each level.
Reggae, this, that. Oh my
and then
God.
there was one level you could just look down over the few letters.
What year was that? 20?
That would be 08 or 07.
08 or 09?
Yeah, it was
Oh, 08.
Yeah. So it was crazy. I'll never forget, Jay-Z, Beyonce was there. About every celebrity you could think of was in DC at that time. I'll never forget this night. We had a section in there, and everybody's popping bottles or whatever. And it was just like no name. I guess he was like a street dude, and he bought every section in their bottles. And I think when it cleared, it was like they made this. It felt like they did fireworks in there, but it was like a huge just light show. Like, hey, this dude just spent 200-some thousand. That night, I said, "Oh, I'm opening a lounge." That's when I knew. I'm like, this is what I know my path is. Because I was like, man, like she said, I'm like, okay, I love this experience. Look at all these people of caliber here. So it wasn't even just about the money, it was just about the quality of that. I'm like, man, I want to give people like
bring that experience,
that feeling I had that night.
Yeah.
I wanted to give other people. So like, that's when I knew. I'm like, I started like, literally like the next day. I'm like, okay, let me get this business plan.
So with that, being able to start something that you guys can bring an experience to people, what are some of your challenges? Because that's the part that everybody sees our highlights.
Yeah.
I'm probably one of the only ones I know personally that will post my failures. Like
the
other day, I spilled a whole 25 pounds of freaking mac and cheese.
Not mac and
almost
cheese.
Quit.
No, man.
Yeah.
Like I almost quit that day.
That hurt my heart right there. Nah.
But when I figured it out and got it done, and then at the end when I seen all the clients been like, the food was amazing. I'm like,
that's the best
you
part.
don't even understand what I had to go through to get here.
Yeah.
But what are some of your challenges? Like, what are some of you guys' challenges that y'all feel like y'all really had to face as an entrepreneur, not just a nightclub owner, but just as an entrepreneur?
I would say, if I just had to say the single biggest one, it was discrimination.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that, because I'm looking at myself like, when I first got in the game, it's funny because I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people won't say. Before I got into this game, I had a lot of money.
Right.
People don't realize when you start a business, it's going to drain your accounts.
Oh, absolutely.
They don't understand that. Like, so I was super flashy. I wasn't the guy that's in front of you right now.
Right.
I was wearing expensive suits, driving expensive cars. So.
And not just discrimination, like as far as it's like age, just.
Oh yeah, I was young.
Yeah.
Like I was real young. I was young with money, and I had a lot of I just had a lot of flashy things. So a lot of times, like, I'm just thinking when I go into these banks and stuff like that, I got an 800 credit score. I got all this money in the bank. I got a good job at the time. Just like I'm thinking like I'm the perfect person you want. I got an MBA. So every box I checked it off.
Right.
They didn't even look at my plan. They just denied immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you just approved this. And so I'll never forget, I was in a community where it was other owners like around. So I had other people doing build outs and stuff right next to me. Hey, go to this bank. I got approved for this.
Right.
This dude don't got half the credentials I got. And he's not even from here.
And that's the part that a lot of people don't talk about with business is the relationships and the funding and being able to have that bridge.
Yeah.
Most of the time, bridge is created by relationships.
Yeah. And the number one thing people told me, they said, well, the reason you want to start a business is because you don't have to use your own money. So people are telling me that and I'm seeing it, but that wasn't my story.
Right.
So literally I had to drain my accounts. You know what I'm saying? I had to put everything I had that I worked years for. Yeah. I had to put it in the game and do it. So I would say like that was super unexpected, but I had to use a lot of my own money and then that wasn't even the worst part. The second worst thing is I got scammed. Think about it. You working with contractors, you in a full bid out, you pulling up in a $100,000 car, $1,000 suit. They looking like, we finna get this joker. Cause they're not giving you prices based on the job. No. They pricing you based on what you look like. Yep. So I'll never forget the story. And I don't even think I told the story publicly, but I probably lost over $500,000, like being scammed on my first business endeavor. Wow. And I'm telling you, like, I tell the story all the time. I was up when I came in. Right. But that's what humbled me. If you ever want to know, like, what got me to here, I can talk to everybody relatable. I was not that's what did it. The failure.
See that you got it today and it could be gone.
I would definitely say discrimination as well for me. Like, I got into this game when I was very young, 23 years old. And a lot of people just judging and not knowing it. I know I said I worked at Hooters earlier, but I also did a lot of other things too. I was bartending, I was serving, I was working at Hooters, I was working for a production media company.
She was like a Jamaican. She had like 5 jobs.
Have you ever heard of Beats by the Bay? So I was out working with iHeart Radio. I was stacking my bread, working to open up my lounge, and I just would always get that discrimination as far as like, how did you do this? How do I work?
Because I always want to know this too, because it's in corporate, but as a business woman, what are the main challenges you guys face as it pertains to being a woman? That's something a lot of women don't.
For me, especially with the industry that I'm in, because you don't see a lot of female.
No, not in your position.
Yes, not a lot of female. This industry is mainly known to be ran by men. Yeah. So I would just say that I never knew that. I never knew until probably maybe like 2 years ago that there was such thing where men could hate on women. Yeah, that's crazy. I never knew there was such thing, but I would say that honestly was like, and still is like my biggest thing where men, because let's be honest, some men don't know how to take direction from females.
It's like intimidating.
So it's very intimidating, and not only a female, a young female, not only a young female, a successful female, a black female as well. So
you got 3 strikes.
Yeah.
Can I interject there? I don't mean to cut you off, but I never experienced this till I met Shae. And I remember, like, I don't know if it was you, your mom, or her family used to tell me about it, but they were like, I think it was her sister, shout out to Delaney. She told me, she was like, Shae used to get a lot of hate because she was pretty. Like, nobody liked her because she was pretty. I'm like, how can somebody not like you because you're pretty? I never experienced that till I got with her. People judge her.
That's the same thing that I go through with my wife. That's the reason why it's hard for women like you guys to have friends. Yeah. Not just in business, but let alone just friends, because there's so much jealousy. That's a whole nother episode. I mean, because that's real.
A spinoff.
That's a spinoff. but go back to your point.
That's honestly the biggest thing. Just the hate from men. And, just people not being able to take direction and, comparing like, how did she get that? She's a female. And like I said, this industry that I'm in is mostly ran by men. So,
You want to know the crazy part about that? Is like, sometimes they'll focus on more of the who it is versus like how I can benefit them. Yes. So like, not even like looking at like they're missing the blessing in the whole situation, because she's going to help elevate them, and they can, it's like mutually beneficial, but they're so distracted on like, how did you get here? What, trying to figure it out.
I'll give you a good example. There was an episode on Jamie Foxx show where Fancy was trying to help with a build out, and they was getting a loan. And the guy met her the first time, you know, fancy looked fancy.
Yeah.
The second time when he was ready to sign, she was talking to Helen and Jamie, and they was like dressed like a homeless person.
Wow.
So she dressed down, and he didn't even want to sign the deal.
Wow.
But when he read the contract, the details of the deal was like, he was like, oh no, this deal is too good. I was too busy paying attention to you, not what you were bringing to the table. And that's what
real.
I feel like
That's
from my version of what I've seen. Because like I've been knowing Shae and you guys for a while, and the word in the city and in this industry is that she just know her stuff. So like so it's either you extremely respect it, you hate it, or people just act like they like it. It's not no in between.
No, that's probably the best way you could put it. And I think to add on to what you just said, it's like, you know, like I learned this early on when I first opened my first business. Like I had everybody came to me. But then when they saw like I knew how they saw I wasn't a dummy or they couldn't take advantage of maneuver, they faded away. And I believe like that's her story. Like she got I call it a bullshit radar. So you can't really get not too much by her because she's gonna pick up on it. So when people don't see opportunity where they can like take advantage of you, then there's no opportunity.
And as a man, that's always great to have that helpmate that not only can do that but can like be the temperature gauge.
For sure.
We'll miss stuff.
Yeah.
Because my wife's the same way. If I miss something, she'll be like, she wait till I get back home and be like, no.
Right.
We have to have it too.
It ain't even no conversation. But with that being said, I do want to take a quick shot, and I want to make sure I give a little shout out to my good old sponsor. So this is the new Reposado by Gran Cormino. They call it that Mino Lino.
Nice.
And it's supposed to be pretty smooth. I wish I would have had it in the freezer, but
it's either way. Bottle though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The bottle's beautiful.
Let's go ahead and put a little. I ain't gonna fill it up. That ain't a shot. That's like an ounce. Take a little ounce.
You could have shot a little.
I could have kept going. Oh, hold on, man. Here you go, man. Here you go.
Thank you, man. Swap it out,
man. I'll give Shae the smaller amount.
No, you can
don't be stingy. Okay. Don't be stingy. That's a nice size bottle. We're not working today. We can drink a little bit.
Exactly. That's what I love about being a CEO. You can do this in the middle of the day.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, that's smooth.
Ooh,
I like that.
It don't give you that kick. It's slow.
Super smooth.
No, I like this.
It's super smooth. It's good.
My new favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, that's real nice.
Reposado, you good with me? All right.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys define success? How do you guys define success in your career?
In my career, I define success.
Or just notice in business and in your career.
In business and career? I'm gonna say in my career first, I'm gonna say I measure success based on my impact.
Okay.
100%. Perfect example is this woman sitting next to me.
Yep.
You know, like I feel like you can always make yourself successful, but like when you can help elevate people around you, that's how you know you're the real deal. So I've done this a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like I pour into people. Sometimes it's at my disadvantage. You know,
that's sometimes the name of it. That's your calling.
Yeah.
Some people say it's the name of the game. No, it's the name of your calling.
I love that.
Because that's the same calling I have. It's
I love
putting
that.
people on. But sometimes when you pick people up so much, where are you at? When you're lifting something up, you always you at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You elevate others, but what people don't realize is if that's your calling, you keep elevating others, you're gonna get elevated too.
Yeah.
So don't get discouraged in that way.
Yeah. And I have got discouraged before, but when you keep evolving and every time you see that what your scale is raising to, and every year you're doing better, you're like, okay, well maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Yeah. Because that doesn't take anything away from you. Right. When you try to do for others and they misuse or abuse or whatever, that's really a reflection of them. That's not a reflection of you. So it doesn't make your value any less. And that's what I learned from my situation. It does make you smarter though. Yeah. Because you like you said, you're going to learn from every situation. So I'm smarter. That's why I'm so good, man, because I've been done so bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like far as like, from a, business standpoint, I think like just far as like I'm gonna just say the amount of my transactions, like in the past, I might have to work 2 years to get to a couple mil.
Right.
Now I can do a couple mil in one transaction.
Right.
So it's just a scale of where I'm at and what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, like I didn't see this happen. It's in them of God, because these risks I took, I didn't know how bad it was until I got in, and I really failed tremendously.
Right.
But failure is really like, it's like the best teacher. And I hate saying that because I cringe. Because it really hurts. When you're going through failure, we can talk about it on the other side of it. But when you're going through it, man, it don't feel good. And it's not like no fairy tale story. But like she said, it's a part of the journey, and you gotta be true to the journey. Yeah. You gotta be fully convicted to it, because as an entrepreneur, you know this. I mean, it's like there are no guarantees. No. Everything is what you make it. Yeah. So with that, you have to like use everything to your benefit. And I was talking to some guys last night. You know, I pour into people every day. She gets the best of it. But what I was telling him is, because he was like, Will, I want to be at your level. Like, I'm trying to be where you at. I said, bro, you ain't lost enough to be where I'm at. Right. That's what I told him. I said, bro, you gotta lose before you win. I said, so it's what you're willing to give up to get it. And the analogy I use with him is that sacrifice. I said, if you put $10 in your car, you're going from North Carolina, you trying to go to California, how far you think you'll get out $10? Right. You might not even get out of North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I said, you got to give to get. Like, stop looking for something when you're not giving enough of yourself to get it. And I said, all the less. He said, well, tell me like what I need to do. I said, bro, you ever heard of analytics? Yeah. Those are lessons. All analytics means is lessons. Use your lessons. They will tell you everything you need to know about how to get where you need to go. Yeah. And that was a bar right there. I wasn't even trying to.
I would say in terms of goals, like setting a clear direction, like for myself, and a clear pathway to get to my destination. You know, it's all about getting to the finish line and enjoying the journey, and ultimately just being prideful and happy about your accomplishments in life. So
do you feel like that's your definition of success in business and career? Yeah. Love it. So the biggest question I have for you guys is, I'm sure a lot of people want to know this. How do you balance working together and then going home and working together?
Oh man. We need to can we pour another shot before Can we pause and pour another shot? Because this is a great question. And I want to make sure I answer it real.
Oh, you came a long way.
You pour it to the top too. Look, man, this is not scripted. We finna get real today.
Off script.
Let's get real.
Off script.
We finna get really real in here.
You might have to sip that one.
Yeah. Let's sip this one.
Yeah, we're gonna just sip this one.
Let's sip it. Yeah, cheers to
balance.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to start?
No, go ahead. Take the lead.
Let me pause because I don't want to be in the doghouse.
Wait, repeat the question again.
How do you guys balance working together in business and working together in home business?
Let me say this first, Kev. Like, and this is just a disclaimer. It's extremely hard. Yeah. I mean,
oh yeah.
And you know, I'll never forget, we was out of the country somewhere and we seen this couple and they were in the water. He was throwing up in there. They were kissing, spinning, everything. I'm like, oh wow, their goals. They didn't talk the rest of the trip. They shot their content and he was in the gym like, man, I can't stand that, you know, whatever. I'm like, man, you were just kissing. That's when I said, man, it's really real out here. You know what I'm saying? Right. But one thing I can say I value about what we have is like, we are who we are. Like, we don't put on the front. Yeah. If I'm mad at her, she mad at me, I feel like we do a good job at just like staying busy, staying focused.
So y'all balance each other.
Yeah, we definitely balance each other. Yeah. But I feel like the best way to do it is like, I feel like we try to plan. Like we definitely try to schedule meetings. We try to like keep things as organized as possible. That's like, I feel like that corrects the imbalance. Because we always have that. I think you gotta, I don't care how religious you are, if you don't got God at the center, like whatever you're doing. Yeah. Like, man, if I didn't have God, I couldn't deal with her for like 24 hours. You know, and she probably
vice versa. I was about to say.
I mean, so like at the end of the day, like he's at the center of everything. So like whenever we go through stuff, I'm like, babe, let's pray.
Yeah.
Like, let's pray about it. And that's one thing people really, they probably don't even know like we're spiritual people.
Yeah. Underestimated.
But we are both like spiritually led on everything we do. Yeah. So I think like if it wasn't for the spiritual aspect, it would be no way we could do it. The business, that's our balance too.
Yeah.
Okay.
We stay so focused on our grind. It's like a lot of times, even if we have differences, we got to talk about work.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll always come back to it. And it's like, when we kind of overcome these obstacles, it's like, it's definitely like, it helps build the morale, the confidence, and our connection. Cause we're like, man, like, we're stronger together than we ever could be apart.
Yeah.
The biggest challenges though, I would say just is, I feel like sometimes I don't feel the weight that's on her, and sometimes she don't feel the weight that's on me.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't feel the weight that's on each other because we both
carry your weight.
We carry a lot of weight. Shae is like the leader of her whole family. Like she holds a lot of people down.
Yeah.
I hold everybody down and then some. So it's a lot of people that depend on us. So I feel like sometimes we're not as considerate for each other as we should be.
Y'all don't give yourself a charge. Like, who do y'all charge into other than, I talked about this in our last episode, is having that power strip. If it ain't plugged into nothing, then y'all just turn the button off and there's no charge. You can't give nobody nothing. Because, a power strip has a lot of outlets.
Yeah, for sure.
So those are the people. But who are y'all charging into? And I think that's the number one thing that's huge, especially for people like us that give so much. We got to be able to be plugged into it. And I think that's the source.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? But it's also other people too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the main challenge is for both of us, I don't know if she will agree, is turning it off.
Yeah.
Shae, sometimes I'll be like, if she could talk about work 24/7, I'm like, man,
it's very hard for me.
She don't know how to turn it off. Like, that's the biggest challenge for me. What's your biggest challenge for me?
Biggest challenge?
Like, my biggest challenge is like, you don't ever turn off your work. You want to work 24/7.
Right.
Like, but what is your biggest challenge for me? And,
you want to work 24/7 too. Exactly.
but not with you. I'll be working on other stuff. But she's right though. I think it's like her focus is when she want to work 24/7 with me, but I'm always just like, I said I gotta get a new phone next year because it just never stops. So I was just telling you when I walked in, like, if people could call me 24/7, like, I would be on the phone 24/7. Yeah. And I'd be on the phone sometimes, Shae be like, can you please get off the phone? And I'm like, I'm trying to make this deal. What do you want? You want this deal or you like this lifestyle,
What's
right?
funny is I could never call this dude and it'd be a 10-minute conversation.
That's crazy.
We stay on the phone for an hour and a half.
He's going to talk.
And we'll be like, all right, but I'm going to get up out of here in a minute though. And then I'm going to get up out of here in a minute.
You do that like 5 times?
That's
But they say the pastor got his Smith closed.
Right.
By that time, we are all right. Yeah, we got our follow up.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's huge for people to know because balance is one of the biggest things. Even with me and my wife, when she used to work with me, she quit. Shout out to my wife, Elena.
Shout out to wife.
She quit and leveled up and did her own thing. But when we were in it, we never could turn it off because once she got into the mode of, babe, we got to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Until Z was finished, she wasn't stopping. It was just, it got to get done.
Yeah.
I feel you.
And it was no let off the gas a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can understand why, because I think you guys are wired in a way of like, until it's perfect.
Yeah, that's just how I am.
Until
Like,
it's perfect.
if I'm not working, I feel depressed. If I'm not like keeping myself busy, if I'm not doing, that's just who I am as a person.
See, I'm like that in business.
I'm a hustler, so if I'm not doing something that pertains to like keeping me busy, it like will make me sad, So I have to like always. It's still something that I'm working on, like today, but. I always feel like I have to like work.
Right.
Yeah.
No, work is for me.
And honestly too, like working is like my therapy in a sense too.
I was going to say, so what's crazy is the one thing that makes me the stress is cooking.
Right.
But it's the one thing that gives me the most, like the fulfillment.
Really?
Just, I don't know what it is. Like you could ask my wife, when I'm cooking for, let's just say 100 people or 50 people, she will literally go upstairs and be like, I can't because you are in your mode right now.
Right, yeah.
But as soon as I get away from that, I like gotta get back in the kitchen. I'll go and make some oxtails for her.
Wow.
After I was like, I'm stressed all day from cooking, and I'll go back in the kitchen and be like, but I get fulfilled when I watch how she'll smile because she might be mad today and she ain't in a good mood. Yeah. But food gave her comfort.
It's your love language. That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? So giving service is my love language.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That's why I love people, because I am about connecting and serving. That's my calling, man.
Bro, me and you are like the same person. Like, it's crazy.
No, because I swear to God, you said something about your dad and the custodian at church. I was getting paid $40 a month to help my dad clean the church. And literally,
That's crazy.
the funerals would be starting like the next day. And I'll go upstairs. He'd be like, go up there and vacuum the sanctuary.
Right, not
and I go up
today.
there and Deacon John over there. I'm like,
Like, man.
And I'm like, hey, daddy, can you vacuum the sanctuary?
Or turn the lights on, one of those.
Exactly. You turn the lights on, think it's going to go away. Now he like,
That's crazy.
man, listen. So when he said that, I just started getting a glimpse of all the people who died. And like,
would you just look at it away from the move so you can run?
Oh my God.
Like, I know he's finna move.
I don't know what it was. And we was
That's a
kids,
good
we used to
one.
think dead bodies move.
Yeah. Oh, man.
man.
That's a good one.
Oh, shoot. So how you stay motivated and inspired? How do y'all stay motivated and inspired?
I stay motivated by working out, eating healthy, taking care of myself.
Yeah. Giving yourself longevity.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I love working out too. But I like to also just like work on new things, like challenge. I stay motivated just by like, what's next?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm like that, because it's like, I'll just get through like the hardest things in my life. And I'm like, all right, what's next?
I want the next hurdle.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want the next hurdle.
Yeah.
I can't, because I might have failed on that other hurdle because it was too high.
Right.
But I want the next one because I'm like, I'm going to do this differently.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, man. I feel like that's the entrepreneurial spirit, but it's also just like ingrained. It's like you can't teach that.
Right.
Nah.
You can't go to training for that. You gotta, it's in you.
It's in you.
Yeah.
It's in you.
Yeah.
Like I know I can't work a job now. Like I just,
Yeah.
It's-
no way. It's no way.
It's like you look at it so differently now. Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can make this or this.
Yeah,
Nah, I'm
it's
good.
no way.
Yeah.
I'll do this any day.
Yeah.
Then it's just that push of just like what you just said, like, okay, I did this year.
Yes.
What can I push myself to like in the future? And I don't know what it's called, but I used to have it. Like, it was like success remorse. I used to like, I think I told Shae, I used to fear success because I felt bad for the people who I left behind.
Yeah.
Or like, I felt bad that other people wasn't, able to do the same thing. Or I didn't want to be too successful because it would make other people uncomfortable.
Right.
So now I'm at the level where like, man, I don't care if y'all comfortable or not. Like, it's, because the reality of it is, when you put your faith in men, they're going to let you down every time.
Oh, yeah.
You put your faith in God, like, he going to show you where you're supposed to be. And he's going to elevate you the way you need to
tells
be.
you gotta elevate,
Like,
then
that's
what
your
you gotta
calling.
do.
It's your calling. And so I know Shae probably hates that about me. I'm always on the next move.
Yeah.
Like, I got so many forward thinking things right now. And yeah, like the slow grind, people don't really
But you know what?
talk about it.
That one thing that she probably doesn't like about you is her just telling you, because my wife does the same thing, gratitude. Because
That's
you're
her favorite
moving
word,
to
by
the
the way.
next thing,
Yeah.
you won't have enough gratitude because it's like, we want the next thing.
Yeah.
True.
But when you have gratitude, you're like, let me appreciate
Let me
this
appreciate- absolutely,
that I already
yeah,
created.
Absolutely. Yep.
And then when you get to that next thing, you're not so quick to move.
That's so crazy because I feel like we just went through that.
Yeah.
And I told her, because like, I feel like God gonna find a way to teach you one way or the other.
For
You
sure.
either gonna be a knucklehead and he gonna be like, all right, this guy, let me just bop him one more time.
Yep.
He gonna put you through some things that like
And make you sit down.
he's
Yeah.
gonna sit you down.
Oh, dude.
So like sometimes when he sits you down, you don't have a choice but to like,
Yeah.
man, let me just thank you for waking
when
like
you're so caught up in the lifestyle of just going,
Yes.
it's you forget to, it's just your life isn't just moving so fast. You forget to just look at the things
And
that
just
are around you.
appreciate it. Say thank you for what you have.
Once
So
you sit down and you go through trials or whatever, and like you start to look around and you're like, wow, okay, like I have a place to stay. Like, I have a roof over my
there
head.
is food in the
I
refrigerator.
have clothes on my, there's
Like, what
is
am I?
food in
What?
the
What?
refrigerator.
Some people don't have these
Yeah,
things.
so-
Dude, like I feel like what God does for me to teach me a lesson, he'll give me a whole month of no income. Like that month.
Yeah.
Like just 1 month of no
Yeah.
income. Man, you know how grateful I'll be by the
And then
by the
you just have to-
31st?
You just have to be grateful that you even have the blessing to even have a business
Thank you.
to make money.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Can I just add to that? That's crazy you said that because that's like, I think we gotta like elaborate on what you just said, because like that's like so real. You know what I'm saying?
Because some people think because we own a business, it's like a washing machine.
Oh yeah.
No, what happens is maybe in June I made 40 to 50, but July, I might be under 10.
Yeah.
And then I get highs if I make under a certain amount.
This might be your twin.
Listen, if it's under a certain amount, I'm like, oh my God. And my wife was like, are you looking at what you get?
Right.
Do you know how many people wish?
Right, exactly.
But then the moment I start, I swear it happens like this every time. The exact moment where she grabs me and says gratitude, and I start thinking and processing. And I swear, for some reason, we always end up going to church. Pastor Furtick in Elevation will always preach
right to you.
something on the lines of the word.
Ain't that crazy?
And when we leave out, I have like 6 booking requests.
Yeah.
So the amount of money I lost, I gained back in a matter of just having gratitude. Not in minutes, not in hours.
Yeah.
It was just the moment I said, thank you, God. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That gives me chills, bro.
Dude, I just got chills.
Can I tell you my story real quick? But I want to touch on something you said because I don't want to forget. But sometimes, like, he'll use the thing that we give the most attention to.
Ooh.
So, like, we give him more attention to money. We give him more attention to
my God.
That's the thing he gonna take from you.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell Shae, I'm like, I never worship money because, like, if I worship money, it's going to be snatched from me because I'm giving more of myself to it than I am to him. Yeah. And it's happened several times where, like you said, cut everything off.
My God.
And you're just like, man, this is crazy.
But what's crazy, this is how I know when you have a calling, because y'all both could probably relate. God will turn it off like a faucet, but not everybody else has the ability to where he turned it back on and it still flows. So it was almost like he knew it was going to flow, but he just was like, no, I'm just going to turn the hot water off for a second.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize how important it is to have hot water.
Yeah.
But the moment he turns it back on, it's like a hot water heater.
Yeah.
It never stops.
When he turns it off, he wants you to go back to the foundation.
Yeah, he's like, what did you do to get here?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then he'll turn it back on. And then when he turns it back on, it's flowing more. Yeah. So now you're like, oh, I got to really elevate.
Yeah.
And it's not elevate what you do, it's elevate your mindset.
And you have a whole new appreciation
because he wants you to view him in a different way.
Yeah. That's it.
The revelation of God has to be bigger than what it was when you started. Oh, that's a whole nother episode. Okay. I can't even.
So deep.
He wants you to see him bigger.
Yeah.
Because in our position and where he's elevating us, we have to think and see him bigger in order for us to get more. And that's the reason why it's important for us to have this type of community. Yeah. Like I Am CEO podcast started from me doing therapy for myself while I was doing therapy because I needed to get my thoughts out because I was using my spouse as my dumping ground and she couldn't be my therapist and wife. So I had to find an outlet.
Wow.
And now, slowly but surely, I'm able to come into my own and I'm starting to see the vision come to life. And it was just a logo. It was just a logo.
Now it's a reality.
It was an idea.
Yeah.
And the crazy part, I told you about it a year ago. And now you like, man, I thought this was somebody else's podcast. That's how God was like, I already had this set up. Yeah. But you couldn't get there without gratitude.
Yeah, and it's so much greater now.
Yeah.
Like if we would have did this a year ago or whatever you started, I'm being serious, bro. It wouldn't even have the same meaning.
No.
But like now, it's like it's everything, and it's like I call it opportune time. It happened when it was supposed to happen. You know, just like you said, even with how blessings work in your life, like it's not ever on your time.
Never.
And I think that's the difference between like being led by the world and being spiritually led. If you're led on the world standards, like you said, people fall down, they fail, and they never come back from it. But sometimes, like our failures are put in front of everybody, so we can be. They can.
I was literally thinking that we are on display for someone else to be. We don't go through what we go through for us. It's literally to save somebody else's life.
Facts.
Because it ain't even about us in the beginning.
It ain't.
That's the part that we.
Yeah.
So Shae, I gotta ask you this because you're very intellectually. Not that you aren't, but
no, I know. You know, no offense.
She's very eloquent with her intellectual thoughts, so she'll think about this a little bit deeper. What are some key principles and values that guide your decision making as a leader?
as a leader, what are some of my key principles and values? I would definitely say knowing my why. You know, it's really important if you're seeking entrepreneurship or whatever, you know, career and being a lawyer, whatever the case may be, knowing your why, and making sure that you have a passion behind what you do. If you don't have a passion behind what you do, it's not going to last long at all whatsoever.
Facts.
It's not going to last long, so you have to make sure that you know your why and you have a passion behind what you do. I would definitely say seize an opportunity. You know, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, you know, where you're at in life. You have this moment like right now to change your life. So it's all about taking that 1 inch into the right direction. And, you know, you look up and you'll be happier than, you know, where you were at before. So
I love that. Yeah. That's dope.
I did talk about this. So talk about a couple of upcoming projects, and then I'll ask my last. Upcoming projects.
So yeah, we definitely focus on growth outside of North Carolina, you know, just in hospitality. So we're kind of looking at some opportunities in Houston and Dallas and some other places within like North Carolina, which I feel like we're really for hospitality, like, you know, they'll kind of be like our best moves. I feel like because we're taking everything we've learned from the previous situations and we're going to try to like take it to the next level. We're also doing like more real estate stuff, you know, as far as like commercial and residential, which, you know, initially I just dived in head first and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But, you know, I say I'd rather have a ugly win than a pretty loss. Yeah. You know, so they've been wins, you know, as far as that. And then just diversifying, like I told you, like we really tapping in K&F because we're seeing a lot of people need help. There's so many restaurants opening, so many things in hospitality, and they don't have a clue about how to
So
run
many
it.
are closing because they didn't have a clue.
Yep.
It's just the knowledge. It ain't the fact that they did anything wrong.
David Burke closed his spot in South End. In South Park.
What was his spot?
It was like a modern kind of American contemporary type fit. It was only open for less than a year.
That's crazy. I believe it though.
Closed in South Park.
Yeah.
So, and Bobby Flay opened right after.
That's what I remember. I told you that. Yeah. But I didn't know it was that group though. Yeah. But what I'm saying, we get so many requests and we haven't really had the platform to help people. So we're working on K&F and Shae has her own individual, because some people, they might not need what I can offer service. Right. They might just need help with like training staff, company operational. Yeah. Like she's the guru in that.
Yeah.
I'm the GOAT in getting people open quick because like I went through a year being stuck. Yeah, I can get you your liquor license, I can get you your permitting, all that. Man, I'm like the 2-month guy. I can get you open in under 60 days, and nobody can do that in like Charlotte, North Carolina. Other than
it's all about who you know.
Yeah, so people have seen me do that, and they're like, okay, he that guy. So, but now we're just kind of like tapping into that. So we're really we really want to help people, but a lot of people don't even know like we even have our platform because we've been so consumed, we haven't invested in it. So the focus now is to like, you're going to see a lot more promotion around K&F because like we want to help people, not just in North Carolina, we want to help people like anywhere in the United States. Because like I feel like everybody has a gift and a passion.
Oh, for sure.
Just like LeBron going to court and he can do what he does even at his age. That's amazing.
That's the reason why he can do it at his age.
Because that's a gift. Yeah. With me and this woman, we can walk into any restaurant, any situation, because there's some events we do, they hire us for mega events where we might have 2,000 or 3,000 people and we're going in, we're putting the sections in, we're putting the bars in, we're hiring staff, we're doing the security, we're managing the whole thing, thousands of people. So people hire us for that. So people don't even know we do that. So we are like the cheat code for that. Like, it's not about the money you make sometimes. It's about the money you're able to make and the money you're able to save. Yeah. So we're able to help people save money, and they were like, man, like, they would have never known.
Knowledge.
Yeah. So we could be the difference between like their failure and success. So to answer your question, like our goal is like, we're really trying to like tap in more on putting that platform out there, scaling.
We have some potential opportunities here in Charlotte. We're just waiting.
So it's some big
another business venture here.
Yeah, something big coming here. So it's always like opportunities. But you know what I learned to do before I do anything? And I told her this after I made mistakes. If I pray about it and I don't get the guidance I need to get, I ain't touching it. Yeah. Because I've jumped and did things And then the people help these people, and then they turn around and badmouth. Like I'm like, wait, like
the number one
crazy.
thing I've learned what you saying that is, if you don't bring it to God in the beginning, He will tell you, don't bring it to me at the end.
Wow.
Because He'll show you that I'm not going to save you from it. I'm going to just get rid of it.
That's a
He
fact.
never brought it to me in the first place.
That's a fact.
Because when you give it to Him, He's already telling you, this is mine. I'm going to tell you to do this. I'm going to guide. I'm going to send all the resources.
Yeah.
If it's forced and it's got to take too much,
It ain't worth it.
not even
It don't
supposed
matter
to
how
be
much
there.
money is in it.
It don't matter.
It's not.
It don't matter who's attached to it. If he ain't attached to it,
It's not
don't
gonna work
matter.
out for your good.
It don't matter.
It's never gonna work out. So I mean, I just think for us, like to your point, like we're learning like to leverage from different situations, and we're using that to get better. And so everything we doing and we touching, we're making sure like it's aligned with like our, like aligned with everywhere we're going. Think about it, like we're in nightlife, right?
Right.
We supposed to be wearing gold chains, driving Rolls Royces.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be in here, but think about we're in here talking about God.
Right.
It's a complete contradiction, but like that's what people don't understand. Like they try to figure out your success when it ain't, like you said, it's not even about me and this woman. It's about giving recognition to who really put us in position.
We just happen to be a vessel to the people who are in that
Yeah.
in that light or darkness.
Yeah.
And can I say this?
Honestly.
I gotta say this because it's important. I remember we went to church one time and the pastor was saying that he could never touch people who we could touch. He wants imperfect people. He wants people who came from the slums and we make mistakes all the time because that makes us more relatable. So I might be able to touch more people than any pastor could ever touch.
Yep.
Because like we in that lane. You know what I'm saying? We go to this grand, like I got a lot of people look up to me. But they might not have ever known that until I said it today. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that's the reality of like what it is. I feel like that's the cheat code that people really got to tap into. Like you have to have a higher power. To your point, you got to have something that's surging into you, pouring into you. Because she might not always be able to pour into me.
Yeah.
My friends might not always be. My mom, my dad, they might have their own problems. You got to have that.
I'm gonna give the people a cheat code right now. So we use this thing in our household called capacity analyzation, where we kind of analyze our capacity. So I might come in from doing this, and my wife gets off work, and she's like, "Babe, I'm at 40%." I'm like, "All right, bet I need to bring 60." I might not be able to,
Right.
I like
but
that.
I have to communicate it.
Right.
So I'll say my capacity is X.
Yeah.
And then we find a way to figure out how to
Get
offset
it back.
Yeah.
what she don't have or what I don't have.
Yeah.
I love that.
And when you communicate it,
Yeah.
it's easier to understand, so you're not necessarily in it by yourself.
By yourself, yeah.
And that's just something.
Might have to borrow that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Like my capacity today is at 50.
She's at -5 right now. I'm on -200. Can you bring me up? Yes, I'm negative.
So y'all both need to go to the charging station.
Let's go to the charging station. Literally and figuratively.
Right. Y'all gotta borrow a Tesla.
This is so good. It's too good, man.
Oh man.
I love this, man.
Okay, so my last question is what would, not even a question, it's just something I want y'all to say. To that person who is, I mean, you can look at this camera or wherever y'all choose to,
Yeah.
who's aspiring to do what you do, who's doing what you do, who wants to do what you do, what would you say to that person?
Yeah, we go back to what I said earlier, knowing your why, seizing the opportunity, being a leader. Leaders lead last in line. So, just taking care of your team and putting in as many hours that anyone thinks that is humanly impossible. Taking care of yourself in the midst of all of it, that's really, really important to take care of yourself in the process. Sometimes, because you will experience burnout. I don't care what anyone says. At some point, you're going to experience burnout. So if you do those things to take care of yourself whenever that burnout comes, you know what it's going to take for you to get back up feeling refreshed again. So always making sure you take care of yourself first and foremost, whether that's working out, whatever the case may be, take care of yourself.
Yeah, mine would be definitely don't give up. It's so easy to, when you get caught through adversity, and it's so hard to get out of your current surroundings. Like sometimes we get stuck because it's like sometimes like everything around us is pulling us back. But I liken it to saying, you know, when it's like you take off in a plane and like gravity's pulling you back, but that's the hardest part is just getting off the ground. So, you know, just keep the faith and, you know, definitely stay your course and get people around you who are where you want to be. If I can say anything, because your relationships are really what make you rich before you get rich. I call it getting people rich. Yeah. You know, you're somebody I look at like you make me more valuable based on my relationship and how we interact. Because if you have several people like that, they're going to give you what you need when you don't know like how to do it. There's certain people who have everything that you need. Like attach yourself to people who don't always say yes. Sometimes the people tell you no, they're sharpening you whether you see it or not. So you have to like attach your people. Shae is definitely like a sharpener. She always says, you know, she always objects, but I might not like that, but it helps me, you know, and get people around you who do different things than what you do. What I learned is I'm not good at like real estate stuff, but now some of my best friends are realtors. You know, I had to get around people who knew that lane, legal, those things.
Never stop learning.
Yes,
a master is a beginner at, you know.
You always a student. So always be teachable. Like even at my level, people call me the GOAT in my lane, but I'm learning. I'm like a rookie in some of these spaces. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still learning. I'm still a sponge and.
Learn and leave your ego at the door, you know, just be willing to.
Yeah, that ego, and that used to be my Achilles heel. Like, you know, like don't lead with your ego.
Yeah.
Lead with your heart. Yeah. And come in and like a sponge wanting to absorb whatever you can to get better because at the end of the day, like, you know, what you do in the dark, that's what's going to come to the light. So even when people are not watching, still keep those same work ethics. And that's what people don't even understand about us. We do so much in the dark and we might not see that manifestation of what we did in the dark for a year.
Yeah.
And then when it comes, like you said, it's pouring, but people will look at us and they're like, oh, they're overnight success.
Right.
Not understanding like it took us years of manifesting and growing and doing stuff that wasn't pretty.
Be willing and be ready to take risks.
Hey, the risk taking is the number one thing.
Yeah.
So before we go, tell the people where they can find you guys, get more information about KNF, Knight and Ford Consulting, what that looks like and how people can get in touch.
Yeah, you guys can get in touch with me via Instagram, via email.
What's the Instagram for KNF? KF Consult?
At KF Consulting, or it's 704-222-2156.
You gotta slow that down. Nobody go.
704-222-2156 or info@knfconsult.org.
Y'all can reach me at 210. 0.
Mike Jones.
But no, like, yeah, so KNF is like really the main launching pad right now because we're trying to really let people know, you know, people just think we're local, but really we can go anywhere. You know, we've done stuff in North Carolina, outside North Carolina. Yeah. So we're just really trying to like help people in the hospitality space who need help, who, you know, like, just need help navigating through what they're going through, you know? Yeah. And so, like I said, we're going to be launching some stuff individually. So, they can find us on social media, KNF Consult, Superstar Will.
It's Split Bistro Lounge.
Oh, yeah, Split Bistro.
Exactly. I ain't even dropped the spot. Right.
And I ain't
going down that lane. You can just...
But look, man, we thank you guys for coming. You know, it's been another episode of I Am CEO Podcast, episode 9. Listen, it's been a great conversation, so I appreciate y'all and wish y'all the best of luck.
Appreciate you.
No, not the best of luck, but the best of success.
Thank you. Thank you.
And continued success and blessings in everything you guys do.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Right.
It's all right.
Yes.